they would have repented a long time. They would have broke themselves. They'd have fell out weeping about their sinfulness. So he was really saying, even blind people can see what I'm doing and who I really am. The works themselves, the Bible says, testify of who he is. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse number 6. Brother Dre, if you can read verse number 6 for us. And I'm sorry, start at verse number 5. That's key. That is big. That right there, we do not preach ourselves. What I did, what I can do, how I did it, all he say, that ain't going to help nobody. We, instead of preaching who we are, what we do, what we about, we preach Christ. And we commend ourselves as servants, listen to this, a servant of the gospel. I am a servant of the gospel. Yes, it's a great day. Would you take a little plate of that and walk on and serve the gospel? He says, not myself. I'm not trying to win you to me. I'm not trying to win you as a person who looks to me as it. No, I'm trying to point you to Christ. That's what the true preaching of the gospel is about. Not me, him. Because if you get to me, you're going to have roadblocks and stumblings and issues. But if you keep your eyes on him, he's able to keep us as we fall into our dilemma. So we're in verse number 5, and we're going into verse 6. So let's stop for a second. Notice the key word in there. He made, and how did he get to the making? He did something first. God. And so the King James says, God commanded light. He commanded. It could not dawn in your soul. Just like he did in Genesis. Let there be light. Light had to show up and outshine darkness. There was no option, no alternative. God commanded. Here is how we banking on the promise. Remember we said all Israel going to be saved. You ain't even got to worry or question. You don't even have to doubt or think about it. Because God says, I am undertaking everything to bring to pass. Remember we read in Ephesians 1 how all this is in accordance with his will, to the glory of his good pleasure, to the praise of the glory of his grace. He's done all of these things to back up a promise he made. So we're going to get this by a promise, not because we're working for it. Remember, he talked about flesh and the children of promise. You're not going to get it because you're trying to work for it and earn it. It's because he promised to you, even though you can't get it, you got no right to it, no ability to go grab it, even if it was on the table. Why? Because we're dead in trespasses and sins. A dead man don't see nothing, can't go get nothing. He can't do a thing. That's that. You know who that is? That's the sovereign king kicking through doubt, and he coming in. He coming in to take his rightful. And check this out. It's one thing to read words and agree with a group of people and say, Jesus is Lord. It's another thing to experience his lordship in your soul. Regardless of where you may be, like he deals with us right where we are. Like if I'm waddling in my mess, he still come in. Why? Because I'm his. He kick, move, push. He might be whooping while he coming in, and I'm feeling, but he coming in, and he going to sit on the throne of our hearts. Why? Because that's his territory. It belongs to him. That's what conviction is. When you wrong, the first thing he do before he make you do right, he make you feel right. Meaning, I feel what was wrong about that and why the way I should have went is the absolutely right way. I agree with you. Listen to this. That happens in here first. The conviction of the Spirit is God talking to my heart saying, that ain't, no, you know I ain't with that. And as that happens inwardly, and then he takes reign again, takes control. Sovereignly. Listen to this. He's always in control, but I experience him kicking my thoughts my way, out of the way, and him dominating again. And we got to get to that. So, reread number 6 for us, please. Stop. So he says God commands light to shine where there was darkness. Listen to this. To give light of the knowledge. I need to know something that I don't know right now. That's why I'm thinking my own thoughts. Because I don't know that there is a way, listen to this, that I must go. Not an optional if I choose to. Like there is a way I'm being commanded. He says this, come unto me. That's not a request. That is a command. But the only thing around that command is this. The only people that will hear that and not get huffy and puffy is his sheep. Because his sheep, he said, my sheep know my voice. The voice of a stranger, they won't listen. They will hear me. Why? Because I'm going to give them power to do what they can't do on their own. I'm going to awaken the deadened soul so that they can live and breathe and see. Listen, the gospel is something that we can know. Think about it, because he's talking like it's a mystery. The world don't know it, but for his people, he brings them on the inside. Because if you don't, how can you believe in what you don't know? You're a fool. You don't even know. And you're basing your whole life on that. You don't even know. So God says, I'm not going to have you trying to, because then you won't have the faith to withstand the test. Brethren, I would not have you to be ignorant. He makes us to know. Listen to this. He makes us to know. Like, think about this, though. This is sovereignty. I'm coming in, says God. I'm coming. You mine. He brings us to know, listen to this, whether we're praying for it, looking for it, waiting on it, pleading, or resisting and running. By a course of our experiences in life, he will bring us to know that he reigns and he wants us. That's what salvation is. It is a calling. Come here. And listen to this. See, the person who hasn't been awakened hears that with so much resistance. There's no willingness. There's a fight. There's rebellion. Why? Because I can't see that he is the way I need to go. And why I need to come. I'm fighting him. So he says God commands light to shine so that he can give us something. To give the light of the knowledge. Listen to this. Of the glory of God. Listen to where it's at. So read the end of that, verse number 6. The glory of God is where at? That is, and so you got to see Christ. God's glory, the invisible God, is revealed in the person of Christ. If you don't see Christ in his full glory, not coming to right wrongs, listen to this. He wasn't coming to right wrongs in society. That wasn't his main aim. Even though when he came, he addressed all leaders who were leading in the wrong way by his mere presence, whether he spoke to them or not, by what he was and how he embodied leadership and loving people and being for people. It put that's why they were so mad at him.